I appreciate it. Mr. Reicher, in your written statements, you indicated, in your oral statements as well, that China is well on its way to having a green or a more green energy-producing economy. And isn't it true, though, at this time that they actually produce more of their electricity with coal than we do in the United States?
They produce a very significant amount of their electricity with coal, absolutely. But they also have been growing their renewable energy industry in a very significant way and now lead the world in renewables, now lead the world in both solar and wind. They've also made huge strides in energy efficiency. They're a quickly growing country, as we know. No dispute that they use a lot of coal. But the point is, the important point is, they have an accelerating renewable energy industry that is really creating really large numbers of jobs.
And isn't it their history that they do a lot of things that we don't do? For example, I think in your written statement on page 3, you indicate that they have 27 nuclear power plants under construction. Is that accurate?
Yes, they have a large number of nuclear power plants under construction.
And you also indicated that they have a lot of hydroelectric facilities that are under construction or in the plans. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And isn't it true that they pay a high price for those hydroelectric generated electricity at those plants?
Mr. Griffith, every energy technology, all of them have their pluses and minuses, and along with hydro, you get those.
Isn't it true that the Chinese have not paid attention anywhere near the level of the United States towards the environmental impact of so many of their facilities? And I'm thinking of their hydroelectric in particular, and the functional extinction of the Three River Gorge Yangtze river dolphin. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
And that would be accurate, is it not?
There is no doubt that the development of these kinds of facilities bring with it environmental problems, and there is no doubt that the Chinese have not adequately attended to those in all cases. I've actually kayaked down those three gorges, and I know exactly what's there and what has been lost. Having said that, they have been making great strides to become leaders in renewable energy. They are making great strides to improve their energy efficiency, and there are increasing calls and I think increasing response to improve their environmental performance. But they've got a long way to go, no doubt about it. But from an economic standpoint, they are taking over this clean energy industry in a very significant way.
And from an economic standpoint, do you think it's appropriate that we adopt that model? Because I kind of got the impression you were holding them up as an example.
I'm holding them up as an example of a country that has put a real priority on clean energy technology research, demonstration, development, and deployment. I am not holding them up necessarily as a model for how you adequately ensure all kinds of environmental performance, but on that front, I think there are improvements, but they need to continue.
And isn't it true that we have different standards also on human rights, and that as a part of their hydroelectric program, they've actually moved 22 million people from one location to another and offered such rich financial rewards as $7 a month?
I don't know that at all. I'm sorry.
But you are aware, having kayaked that area, that millions just for the Three Gorges Dam project had to be moved.
I don't know the exact numbers. Certainly, there were large displacements of people, just as there have been all over the world, including in our own country, when dams get built. Let me not sit here today and tell you that hydropower is without its major environmental, human, and economic costs. All technologies, all energy technologies have their pluses and minuses, and there are significant ones that we know well in this country and that the Chinese are experiencing themselves with respect to hydropower.
And I like Mr. Montgomery's comments about the fact that they never take into consideration all the coal workers, and I wonder how you would address that, because it's not just the folks working at the power plants who work in coal, but it's all the folks who provide equipment for the coal mines, who make their livelihoods by supplying the miners themselves, and then of course the miners themselves. And in that economic equation that you have made, where you hold China up as an example, did you calculate in all the lost jobs that we would have in the energy field in this country, particularly in the coal fields?
There's always, again, got to be pluses and minuses. You've got to look at what comes with a move from one energy technology to the other. There is displacement. There are positives. There are negatives.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.